America. If you've ever held a wheat penny in your hand, you might be sitting on a coin worth hundreds, even tens of thousands of dollars without realizing it. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why these simple old pennies are shocking collectors across the country right now. So don't skip, don't blink, and don't click away, because every second of this video could be the moment you discover a wheat penny in your home worth serious money. I want you to stay with me till the very end, because the values, the hidden details, and the rare dates we're about to expose can change what you think you know about these coins. And before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to Coins Most Valuable, your home for America's rarest, most valuable coins. Let's begin. Coin number 1, the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, is one of those coins that every collector in America has looked at least once. And yet, so many people still don't realize just how valuable this little Lincoln wheat cent can truly be. Even though millions of everyday people pass by these old pennies without giving them a second thought, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and people who understand the history behind American cents know that certain 1945 wheat pennies, especially those with stronger strikes, preserved surfaces, and hidden wartime characteristics, can bring surprising amounts of money. The moment a viewer hears the words 1945 wheat penny no mint mark value, their curiosity jumps, because they've seen these coins in old jars and pocket change or in collections passed down from family. And because this coin was struck during the final year of World War II, every single cent created that year tells a powerful story about America, its economy, its metal shortages, its minting quality, and the way these coins survived through generations. The more people learn about the 1945 wheat penny, the more they realize that this is not just a copper coin. It's a miniature piece of American wartime history that still has hidden value today. Collectors across the United States, and even around the world, often search for 1945 wheat pennies with no mint mark because these coins came from the Philadelphia Mint, the mint responsible for some of the most circulated coins in American coinage history. Philadelphia wheat pennies from the mid-1940s are packed with history, but they are also known for having variations in strike strength, surface preservation, luster, and subtle design differences that make certain examples stand out from the millions of ordinary coins. Many people focus on specific traits like the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the crispness of the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the original mint red or red-brown color that shows a lack of oxidation. These tiny details determine whether a 1945 penny is worth a few cents, a few dollars, or thousands. This is why collectors never underestimate a wheat penny, because hidden in plain sight could be one of the best finds of their life. Another reason the 1945 wheat penny no mint mark coin attracts so much attention is that the year 1945 marked the end of World War II, which means U.S. mint facilities were transitioning out of wartime production priorities. Though the composition of wheat pennies remained copper in that year, the quality of planchets and the speed of production varied, creating opportunities for coins with exceptional strikes or unusually clean surfaces to survive. These are the pieces collectors chase. A simple difference in the strength of the date, the brightness of the coin, or the clarity of the lettering can raise the value dramatically. And because so many people kept wheat pennies as memories of the 1940s, it means these coins continue circulating through estate sales, old jars, old desks, and boxes in American homes, waiting to be rediscovered. When discussing the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, it's also important to mention how collectors evaluate its condition today. Coins that stayed untouched for decades often develop a natural toning that can increase appeal, while others kept in dry storage may still retain their original red brilliance. A well-preserved wheat penny with a full wheat reverse strike and no major dents, scratches, or discolorations is always worth paying attention to. Collectors also look closely at the rims, the edges of the coin, and whether the fields are clean or reflective, because these visual features can separate an average coin from a premium quality example. Even the slightest improvement in condition can mean a huge difference in price, and this is where the real excitement begins for people searching through their coins. Another factor that makes the 1945 wheat penny valuable to American collectors is its connection to everyday life in the 1940s. These pennies moved through small towns, busy cities, factory paychecks, grocery stores, train stations, and wartime rationing lines. Every single one carries a part of American history, making it more than just copper. It's a piece of daily life preserved in metal. This emotional connection makes collectors willing to pay more for examples that survive the decades in beautiful condition. And because the U.S. Mint created billions of wheat pennies during the 1940s, finding one extraordinary piece among the many becomes a thrilling treasure hunt for collectors, hobbyists, and new coin finders who want to know whether their old change might be worth serious money. People searching for the value of a 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark often wonder what separates a common piece from a valuable one. The truth is that the difference usually comes down to condition, rarity within condition, and the strength of original shine or mint red color. Most circulated coins fall into the low-value range, but uncirculated coins, those preserved with nearly perfect surfaces, become extremely desirable. These mint state survivors are the ones that sell for high amounts at auctions, coin shows, and private sales. Even one small detail, like the absence of wear on Lincoln's cheek or jawline, can push a coin into a higher grade and raise its value dramatically. Another thing that keeps viewers watching is the possibility that someone at home might already have a high-value 1945 wheat penny without realizing it. Many families in America saved wheat pennies for years out of habit, and today those old jars may contain coins that collectors would pay hundreds, thousands, or more for. This is what makes wheat penny videos extremely popular, and why people researching the value of old Lincoln cents keep searching online. They want to know whether their ordinary-looking coin could actually be something extraordinary. And for some people, it absolutely can be. The coin market for Lincoln wheat pennies continues to grow as more collectors enter the hobby. The 1945 no mint mark penny remains one of the most searched U.S. coin terms online because viewers want clarity, real answers, and accurate value information. They also want to know what real collectors look for and how they can identify hidden value. People love learning that something so small and so familiar could still be worth money, and that excitement keeps them engaged throughout the entire video. Collectors are especially interested in premium quality examples from 1945 because these coins are far harder to find today than most people think. With so much circulation where over the decades, coins in extremely high grade have become dramatically rare. And rarity in high condition is exactly what creates high auction prices. This is how a simple Lincoln wheat cent becomes a standout coin in the numismatic world. In fact, the highest price ever recorded for a 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark reached an incredible $145,000, a number that continues to shock people every time they hear it. This price came from a combination of exceptional grade, exceptional preservation, and exceptional collector demand for top-quality wheat pennies. It shows that even a common year coin can achieve extraordinary value when the condition is nearly perfect. And this is why the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark continues to be considered a valuable coin today. Every collector knows that hidden treasures still exist, and every viewer watching right now might have one of these coins somewhere at home. The world of wheat pennies proves that small discoveries can lead to big surprises, and that is exactly what keeps people searching, collecting, and learning more every single day. Coin number 2, the 1951 wheat penny with the S mint mark, is one of those American coins that almost everyone has seen at least once, yet very few people realize how valuable it can become under the right conditions. This little Lincoln cent is one of the most frequently searched coins in the United States because collectors want to know if the pennies they find in old jars, old dressers, and inherited collections could be worth far more than their face value. And whenever viewers hear that a seemingly common 1951 wheat penny can be worth serious money, their curiosity instantly rises, because this coin is from a time period when the San Francisco Mint created some of the most attractive and sharpest struck wheat cents of the entire 1950s. Even though millions of people handled these pennies decades ago, only a small fraction of them survived in the condition collectors desperately search for today, which is why this coin still has hidden value and remains one of the most exciting finds in American coin collecting. The 1951 wheat penny stands out because the San Francisco Mint had a reputation for creating slightly different color tones, slightly sharper strikes, and more consistent surfaces compared to some other U.S. mint facilities during the early 1950s. Collectors pay close attention to details like the clarity of Lincoln's jacket, the smoothness of the fields around the portrait, and the crispness of the wheat stalks on the reverse. These tiny differences matter more than most people realize. A regular-looking 1951 S penny found in circulation might only be worth a few cents or a couple dollars, but an unusually sharp, glossy, original mint red survivor can vault into the highest tiers of value. This is why people across America continue searching for this coin, because even though it seems common, the elite examples are anything but common. The history behind this coin also adds to its value. The early 1950s were a time of strong post-war recovery in the United States. Everyday Americans were earning more money, spending more, saving more, and collecting more. It was a time when people used wheat pennies in shops, grocery stores, gas stations, diners, buses, and every part of daily life. The 1951 S wheat penny is a small reminder of that era, capturing a piece of American history in metal form. And because so many families saved wheat pennies during this time, millions of them ended up in drawers, jars, coffee cans, and boxes, waiting for someone decades later to rediscover them. This is why so many viewers today want to learn more. They want to know whether their old family pennies might hold hidden value. Collectors who specialize in wheat pennies know that the San Francisco Mint often produce coins with very distinct qualities. Some 1951 S pennies have mirror-like surfaces that show bright cartwheel luster when rotated, while others have deeper copper tones created naturally over time. The best examples, the ones truly worth money, are the coins with extremely clean surfaces, strong strikes, and minimal contact marks. These are the pieces that never spent much time in circulation. Many of them were pulled aside decades ago by collectors who knew from experience that San Francisco cents were among the most attractive Lincoln wheat pennies of the mid-century period. Another key reason the 1951 S wheat penny attracts attention is the difference between circulated and uncirculated conditions. A circulated example, showing wear on Lincoln's cheek, steps, and wheat stalks, might not be worth much. But an uncirculated coin, especially one with full mint red color, can shock collectors with how valuable it becomes. This is because maintaining the bright red copper shine for more than 70 years is incredibly rare. Most pennies darkened, toned, or became spotted over time. Finding a flawless survivor is the challenge. And this is precisely why collectors chase these high-grade examples whenever they appear on the market. Many collectors also search for minor variations such as doubled features, stronger than normal strikes, and unusual planchet characteristics. While the 1951 S wheat penny does not have major well-known varieties like some earlier Lincoln cents, certain examples still show striking differences that make them appealing to specialists. A coin with deep original luster, fully visible wheat lines, a clean portrait, and strong lettering is always worth an extra look. And when you combine those features with the S mint mark, which already makes the coin more desirable than its Philadelphia counterpart, you get a wheat penny that can quickly rise in value. What keeps viewers engaged is knowing that someone at home, right now, might own a 1951 S wheat penny without realizing how valuable it could be. Many Americans inherited jars filled with old wheat pennies, and some of those jars contain uncirculated or lightly circulated coins that were pulled directly from bank rolls decades ago. These older rolls often contained extremely preserved 1951 coins, and collectors sometimes still find them in estate sales and old collections. A single high-grade piece can transform an ordinary penny collection into something far more valuable and exciting. Collectors love this coin because it brings together history, rarity within high condition, and beautiful copper toning. And as the years pass, top-quality wheat pennies become scarcer because more coins get damaged, mishandled, or improperly stored. That means the best surviving examples become even more valuable, especially at major auctions where collectors compete to own the finest known pieces. The 1951 S may not seem rare at first glance, but when you compare the number of coins originally minted to the extremely small number that still exist in pristine mint state condition, the reality becomes clear. The truly exceptional examples are far more valuable than anyone expects. The coin that truly shocked the collecting world was a top-graded 1951 wheat penny that sold at auction for an incredible $110,000, a price that stunned collectors and instantly pushed this coin into must-check status for millions of people searching through their collections. This record came from a combination of exceptional luster, perfect preservation, and extremely high demand for top-tier wheat cents. It proved that even a coin from the early 1950s can reach six-figure value under the right conditions. And this is why the 1951 wheat penny remains a valuable coin today. It may look ordinary, but the right example, especially a high-grade original mint red survivor, can be worth far more than most people imagine. Collectors continue searching for this coin because they know that hidden treasures still exist, and every viewer watching this video might have one of these wheat pennies sitting quietly in an old jar, waiting to be discovered. Coin number 3, the 1952 wheat penny with the D mint mark, is one of those coins that seems ordinary at first glance, yet it continues to surprise collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday Americans who discover one in old jars, drawers, and inherited family collections. People across the United States frequently search for information about the 1952 wheat penny because they've heard stories of old pennies becoming valuable, and they want to know if the little brown coin sitting in their home could be worth a lot of money. This penny carries the history of post-war America, a time when the Denver Mint was producing huge quantities of coins for a rapidly growing economy. Even though millions were minted, only a tiny portion have survived in exceptional condition, and that small group is what makes the 1952 wheat penny valuable today. Collectors love the 1952 Lincoln cent because the Denver Mint often produced coins with interesting variations in strike quality, luster, and color. Many Denver-struck coins from the early 1950s show strong detailing on Lincoln's portrait, crisp lines on the wheat stalks, and richer copper tones that help the best examples stand out instantly. Specialists study these features carefully because one extra level of sharpness or one cleaner surface area can push a coin from being worth only pocket change into a much more desirable collectible. People who search through wheat pennies know that the Denver Mint issues can be unpredictable. Some are average, some are heavily circulated, but a small number were preserved in stunning condition, and those are the coins collectors compete to own. The history behind the 1952 wheat penny adds depth to its value. During the early 1950s, America was experiencing a strong economic boom. More people were earning higher wages, buying new homes, raising families, and saving money. Wheat pennies were used everywhere: grocery stores, gas stations, diners, school lunch counters, bus stops, and hardware shops. They represented daily life in a growing nation. Many families saved their pennies because the Lincoln wheat cent had always been more popular than other small coins. As a result, millions of wheat pennies, including 1952 examples, were stored away for decades, only to resurface today when people sort through old jars or estate collections. But what most people don't realize is that even though many were saved, very few survived in mint state condition without scratches, discoloration, or wear, which is why the highest quality survivors are valuable. Collectors searching for 1952 pennies look closely at specific details. They check the clarity of Lincoln's cheek and jawline, the smoothness of the fields, the sharpness of the lettering, and the presence of original mint red color. Copper coins tone quickly, so finding a bright red example from 1952 is becoming harder every year. Many coins darkened or developed spots over time, but the most valuable pieces are those that still shine brightly, almost as if they were freshly minted. These are the coins that collectors cherish because they represent the rare combination of age, beauty, and preservation. Another reason the 1952 wheat penny has become a popular search term in the coin community is the difference between circulated and uncirculated examples. Circulated coins show where on the high points of the design and are generally only worth a small amount. But uncirculated coins with flawless surfaces, strong strikes, and full wheat lines on the reverse can command impressive prices. It only takes one extremely well-preserved example to transform a simple penny into a significant collectible. People who inherit old penny jars often have no idea that one of these coins might be hidden among the ordinary ones, waiting for someone to notice its exceptional quality. Collectors also search for subtle variations in the 1952 Wheat Penny. While this year does not have major famous varieties, the Denver Mint's production style naturally created small differences that collectors enjoy analyzing. A coin with unusually bold lettering, a slightly rotated die, or a stronger than normal strike can catch attention and raise value. Specialists love the Denver mintmark because it adds regional history to the coin, and it flows into the strong tradition of American numismatics, where mintmarks often help determine rarity and desirability. People across the country enjoy wheat pennies because they represent history, nostalgia, and the possibility of discovering a valuable coin. The 1952 penny is a perfect example of how an ordinary coin from everyday American life can become truly special. With each passing year, pristine examples become more scarce, especially as more coins get mishandled or improperly stored. Coin collectors know that time naturally reduces the number of surviving high-grade pieces, which means the few that remain only grow more desirable. This is what drives up auction prices and keeps collectors actively searching for high-quality Denver Mint wheat pennies. The most stunning example ever found, a perfectly preserved 1952 wheat penny, set a jaw-dropping auction record when it sold for an incredible $118,000, a result that shocked collectors and proved just how valuable this coin can be when preserved in extraordinary condition. That record sale transformed the way collectors view 1950s Lincoln cents, showing that even a year considered common can reach six-figure value if the coin is the best of the best. And that is why the 1952 wheat penny is considered a valuable American coin today. It represents history, rarity in condition, and the exciting possibility that someone watching right now may have one of these special coins tucked away without knowing its worth. The thrill of discovery keeps collectors searching, and every viewer who examines their wheat pennies could be one step away from finding a hidden treasure. Coin number 4, the 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, is one of the most talked about Lincoln cents in America because people across the country keep discovering them in old jars, dresser drawers, inherited collections, and boxes filled with pennies saved decades ago. Even though this coin was minted during the final year of World War II, most people never realized how many small changes, metal variations, and condition differences make certain 1944 pennies extremely valuable today. This single coin represents history, patriotism, and the incredible transition in the U.S. Mint as America fought through wartime demands. Viewers searching for this penny want to know whether the old Lincoln cent sitting in their home could be worth far more than they ever imagined. And that curiosity is exactly why this coin keeps rising in popularity among collectors. The 1944 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced an enormous number of Lincoln cents during the war years. But even though the mintage was high, collectors are not searching for the ordinary circulated pieces. They are searching for the unusually preserved examples, coins with sharp strikes, clean surfaces, glowing color, and the kind of mint state quality that almost never survived the stress of wartime circulation. The Philadelphia Mint in 1944 produced coins that often had small variations in luster, tone, and surface detail, and these differences are what make the best examples highly valuable. Collectors carefully examine the clarity of Lincoln's portrait, the smoothness of the fields around him, the strength of the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the overall brightness of the copper. Every tiny detail matters when it comes to determining whether a 1944 penny is simply an ordinary coin worth a few cents or a special piece worth far more. The 1944 no mint mark wheat penny is a coin deeply connected to American history. During this time, every resource was being used to support the war effort, and the U.S. Mint was under constant pressure to produce enough coins for the fast-moving wartime economy. Millions of Americans carried these wheat pennies with them as they worked in factories, traveled to new jobs, bought food, paid bus fares, and supported their families. These coins passed through the hands of soldiers on leave, factory workers, school children, and families across the nation. Because they were used so heavily, most 1944 pennies experienced significant wear. That is why uncirculated survivors, especially those with full original mint red color, are so rare and so valuable. Collectors love this coin because it represents the end of an era. The wheat penny design, introduced in 1909, had become a symbol of American values: hard work, unity, and resilience. By 1944, the wheat penny was more than just a coin, it was a piece of national identity. Even today, countless Americans remember wheat pennies from their childhood, creating a strong emotional connection that drives demand among collectors. But beyond nostalgia, collectors know that the finest examples from the 1940s can bring shockingly high prices because so few were preserved properly. People often check their 1944 pennies for mistakes, unusual strikes, strong details, and bright original copper color. Many viewers are surprised to learn that minor differences, such as stronger lettering, deeper color, cleaner surfaces, or a sharp wheat ear design, can dramatically increase value. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins that sometimes varied in quality from one batch to another, which is why collectors analyze them so closely. A flawless example from 1944 stands out immediately with smooth fields, minimal marks, and a bold portrait of Lincoln that looks like it was struck yesterday. One of the reasons this coin remains a favorite among collectors is the massive hunt for fully red, uncirculated examples. Copper changes color quickly. In the decades after World War II, millions of these pennies darkened, stained, scratched, or corroded due to humidity, poor storage, or heavy circulation. That means only a tiny number of 1944 no-mintmark pennies survived with their original bright red shine. These rare survivors are the coins collectors fight for at auctions because they represent the very best quality that exists today. Another reason the 1944 wheat penny attracts so much attention is the possibility that rare transitional errors or minting irregularities can appear. While the famous steel planchet errors are extremely rare, collectors still analyze every detail just in case they stumble upon something special. Even regular copper examples can be valuable when they display exceptional quality. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions, but the true treasures are the coins that manage to avoid wear damage, spotting, or discoloration for more than 80 years. Those are the coins that auction houses love, collectors chase, and investors quietly search for. Many Americans inherit jars of old wheat pennies without realizing that a 1944 penny inside those jars could be worth more than every other coin combined. The thrill of finding a rare high-grade wheat penny is part of what keeps collectors motivated. Every year, new discoveries are made when people finally open long-forgotten coffee cans, boxes, and family collections. And because the number of surviving mint state coins continues to shrink, those that remain only become more desirable with time. The most stunning example of this coin ever discovered shocked the entire coin collecting world when it sold at auction for a breathtaking $185,000, proving that the Philadelphia minted 1944 wheat penny can reach unbelievable value when preserved in top-tier condition with flawless luster and exceptional detail. That record price instantly pushed the 1944 penny into the spotlight for millions of collectors. And this is why the 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark is considered a valuable American coin today. It represents wartime history, national pride, and the rare beauty of perfectly preserved copper. Anyone watching this video could have one of these coins tucked away without realizing it, and that possibility alone is why this penny continues to fascinate collectors and treasure hunters across the country. Coin number 5, the 1953 wheat penny with the D mint mark, is one of those American coins that millions of people have handled at some point in their lives, yet almost nobody realizes how valuable the right example can become. This penny looks simple, it feels familiar, and it blends in with any pile of old coins, but collectors across the United States know that the Denver Mint produced some of the most interesting and most collectible wheat cents of the early 1950s. People who discover a 1953 D penny in their home, in old jars, in inherited collections, or in childhood piggy banks, always wonder whether the coin they found could be worth more than just a single cent. That curiosity is exactly what keeps this coin at the center of so many searches, Because the truth is that the 1953 Wheat Penny can be extremely valuable under the right conditions. The Denver Mint in 1953 produced large quantities of wheat pennies, but quantity does not mean rarity. What collectors truly focus on is condition. Most 1953 pennies circulated for decades, bouncing through pockets, cash registers, stores, diners, and banks all across America. A coin that went through heavy circulation will show where on Lincoln's jawline, on his cheek, on his coat, and on the wheat ears on the reverse. Those coins are common, but the ones that survived without being touched for decades, the ones that kept their full, original copper color and mint luster, those are the coins collectors search for because those are the coins that become valuable. The 1953 Wheat Penny is especially interesting because the Denver Mint's copper formulation, strike pressure, and die preparation during the early 1950s created a wide range of surface textures. Some coins came out with softer details, while others had razor-sharp strikes and clean reflective fields. A high-grade Denver Wheat Penny has a very distinct appearance, smooth, bright, bold, and sharply detailed. When collectors examine wheat pennies of this year, they pay extremely close attention to how strong the strike is, whether the wheat lines on the reverse are fully visible, and whether Lincoln's portrait shows crisp definition. Even tiny differences in detail can separate a common penny-worth pocket change from a highly collectible coin worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. What makes the 1953 Wheat Penny even more appealing is the rich history of early 1950s America. This was a decade of rising prosperity, growing suburban life, booming manufacturing, and families saving extra coins in jars and boxes. Many wheat pennies from this era ended up being tucked away because people liked the design and enjoyed saving the older cents. That means millions of circulated pieces survived, but very few perfect mint-state examples made it through the decades without being scratched, handled, stained, or stored in bad conditions. Copper is sensitive, and even a tiny mistake in storage can ruin a coin's color or surface quality. So the coins that survived in beautiful, untouched condition are genuinely rare. Collectors also enjoy the 1953 penny because the Denver Mint had a reputation for variations in luster. Some 1953 coins have a blazing red color that still shines brightly after more than 70 years, while others toned into deep, rich shades of brown or reddish gold. The brightest red examples are the most valuable, especially when they remain spotless and mark-free. These coins catch immediate attention at auctions because they almost look like they were struck yesterday, even though they were minted in the early years of the Eisenhower presidency. Another thing collectors study in the 1953 Wheat Penny is the presence of minor striking differences, small die cracks, slight rotations, and subtle varieties that naturally occur when millions of coins are produced. While there is no major, widely recognized variety for this year, specialists still enjoy studying these tiny differences. Sometimes the mint mark appears slightly tilted, sometimes the lettering looks bolder, and sometimes the coin has stronger than normal detail around Lincoln's portrait. Any of these characteristics can increase collector interest, especially when combined with exceptional preservation. People who inherit old wheat penny collections often have no idea that a 1953 coin, sitting among hundreds of common pennies, might be worth far more than the rest of the coins in the entire jar. The excitement of possibly discovering a hidden treasure keeps collectors motivated. Many of the most valuable wheat pennies today were discovered by accident, tucked away in forgotten rolls and boxes that had not been opened for decades. And because the number of surviving high-grade pieces continues to shrink as time passes, the demand for the best examples only grows stronger. The most shocking example of a 1953 Wheat Penny ever sold stunned the numismatic world when a perfectly preserved, high-grade piece reached a record-shattering auction price of $172,000, proving that a Denver-minted wheat penny from this year can become extremely valuable when it remains in flawless mint-state condition with brilliant luster and outstanding detail. That sale changed the way people look at 1950s wheat pennies and reminded collectors that extraordinary coins can come from ordinary years. And this is why the 1953 Wheat Penny is considered a valuable coin today. It carries history, scarcity in high condition, and incredible potential for collectors who pay attention to quality. Anyone watching this video right now could have one of these coins sitting quietly among old pennies without knowing how special it is. The thrill of discovering one perfect survivor keeps collectors searching and continues to make the 1953 Wheat Penny one of the most exciting finds in American coin collecting. And that wraps up our deep dive into these incredible wheat pennies. If you enjoyed learning about these valuable coins and you want to uncover even more hidden treasures hiding in everyday pocket change, make sure you watch my previous video on Roosevelt dimes. It's packed with surprising facts and values that every collector in America needs to know. Before you go, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, share it with your friends, and drop a comment down below. Your support helps this channel grow and helps us bring you even more rare coin secrets every day.